I'm here with Brett Hyman, who is founder and CEO of NB Experience Agency. And we're at the MySpook C-Suite Growth Summit in New York. So, Brett, great to meet you. Thank you for taking
You too. It's so great to meet you.
So, wanted to still go back to your beginnings. You started out nightclub promoting, and I just thought sort of interesting background to before going into events. How did that sort of shape your thinking towards experiences, and what led you to sort of creating the Experience Agency?
Yeah, it definitely, you really did your research, because Night Vision Entertainment, which then became NVE, worked in Hollywood and nightlife. And it definitely taught me that, a big hospitality foundation, but one big thing that I learned from it was that the production is only half the production, that the experience can be impacted and influenced by the people in the room. And understanding not just what we're doing and how we're doing it, but who we're doing it for. I think working in nightlife helped me develop a level of EQ, or personal empathy, to really understand how a room would be received, how energy would flow through a room. Nothing ethereal like energy, but definitely that we can design the same event for very different audiences and have very different reactions. So a lot of what we build is through the lens of who are we building it for.
Yeah, that's so true. And you've expanded quite a lot and quite rapidly. How do you, protect creativity as you scale as a business?
By remaining independent, to be honest with you, our only stakeholder is the craft itself. It's partially why we've turned away the opportunity to do one of these massive deals that's being talked about on stage here today. It's just because we think that right now, all of that scale should have one North Star, and it's service of the craft. If we serve the craft, we'll serve the clients and our people perfectly. Yeah. And I think that allows us to it guides us to more strategic scale decisions and guides us away from distracting decisions.
Yeah. And obviously you've written quite recently about independence being quite a big strategy for you. Obviously there's, the M&A has been quite off the charts lately in this
wild.
It's been pretty big. So what advantages, we talked about protecting creativity, but what advantages does being independent give you in terms of your team, your clients, and growing as a business as well?
I would say the clients need a more agile, nimble partner that can do things that they can't do. So if they're, getting corporatized from their agency, then, at some point they probably question why they need an agency at all if they're going to go through the process of ensuring that, quarterly earnings at their agency partner meet the demand of where they need to meet. With us, we're passionate about the craft, and we want the craft to serve our people. So as long as we're taking good care of our people, we're able to move very fluidly with our clients. Right now, whatever it is about the economy, whatever it is about the state of the world, whatever it is about the nature of AI disrupting all other kind of media channels, timelines are compressed. There's a lot more stakeholders that want eyes on the experience, and therefore we need to be more agile than ever, not less.
Yeah.
So independence has become a more valuable characteristic than it ever has.
Yeah. And you also wrote a little bit about sort of questioning the term experiential, and whether or not it really captures what we do now. I know that a lot of people have never really quite understood what experiential means. What does it mean to you now? And is there a better term?
Yeah.
Or
I have questioned what the term experiential means, primarily because so many people on the brand side put it in a very specific box. On their own, they have their own definition, and that predates me even getting into this industry. And that definition happened to be very transactional, very trade focused, very one moment in time, activation up, activation down. And NVE thinks, and I think of experiential as an operating system. Activation should be a chapter in a much bigger story, not just living and breathing in this kind of very, very transactional world. I also think that, the activation and the audience attending that activation was the natural endpoint of experiential. And now we think that the audience is just a vehicle to access networks that media can't buy.
Yeah.
So for us, experiential, we felt that in order to, as we were building NVE, in order to serve our clients, we needed to open the aperture of how we look at the entirety of the brand experience. That includes, how does it live socially? Who are the people in the room? Back to the curation of the audience. What kind of brand partnerships might tie in? What kind of content might tell the story? And therefore, for us, experiential, our version of it is using experiences to help brands deliver, to be more culturally relevant. So we would love the whole industry to just meet us at that definition, because we love the word.
Yes.
But at this point, we think of experience as a vehicle to, create that meaningful cultural relevance that brands need to, create customers.
And it's not just that one moment in time. I think that's
Not at
just
all.
a book is told, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you think that experiences are being recognized by clients as a core driver for, their strategy and how they connect with their audiences?
AI has opened an opportunity to create an infinite abundance of content, where brands are making a hell of a lot of promises about things that they stand for, things they're going to do, what their brand really is. And a lot of brand leaders are realizing that we need people to witness that those promises, the proof. And we can provide the platform to witness that, and then that content and that story becomes the flywheel. It's a flywheel that powers all other channels. And it can be, once a brand has said, I'm here, I stand for this, social becomes real.
And what do you think brands most misunderstand about how audiences want to engage with them today?
A great example is, it's not all about social content. It's not all about picking up your phone and just getting content. One of the most meaningful experiences that we've done lately was at Coachella for Pinterest, where we locked up everyone's phone and we did Coachella's first ever phone-free experience.
Oh, amazing.
Where you had to be present, and the audience loved it. They had such a blast. So I think we're over-optimizing for social media when, in addition to, social and all that, there is a magic of serendipity, which is the unexpected things that happen through various experiences.
I suppose, people always say it's difficult to find talent. How do you approach that?
Yeah, there is a component of this craft that absolutely requires the expert skill, logistics, production, budgeting, because you have to have that ability to foresee problems or gaps in your planning before you've gone live, right? So you want all of that, but you want it wrapped in a vision of the audience. So I want people that know people. Like, we're in the people business, and I think there are many people in experiential, in all different roles, that I don't think have been to that many events, and definitely haven't been to a diversity of events with different audiences, different activities, different environments, different cultures, different locations. So in addition to looking for people who ultimately, have expertise in their craft, we really want to see diversity in their worldview.
You mentioned earlier that you've expanded into London fairly recently. So, is that a plan to sort of expand a bit more geographically? Or?
Yes. We have expanded. We have a full-time team in London. I think 7 or 8 people as of today. We're doing it differently. So a lot of agencies remain out there with the baggage of offices in all these locales. So many offices. It's absolutely amazing. With us, we are looking at a more hub and spoke model where we have hubs, and we've got LA, San Francisco, New York, and now London. London is our global office. It's handling all things outside the US, not at all just in London. In fact, they were in Shenzhen, I think 3 weeks ago. They were in Berlin last week. So we're using that as the springboard to then very strategically build further hubs where they're very needed. Obviously, doing London to APAC is not easy, and that'll be the next foray.
Is there any kind of thing that you're like, here's a core focus, or here's a sector, or here's something a capability we'd like to expand into? Or
we probably have, I think last check, there's about 7 active initiatives of vertical, horizontal, adjacent growth. However, the Los Angeles Olympics.
Okay.
We are getting the Olympics in LA. I am born and raised in LA. I have been there my entire life, other than 4 years of college in New Orleans. I am obsessed with that city. NBE's DNA is inextricably part of film, music, TV, entertainment, LA culture, food, and just everything that if you meet us, you will find that we emanate LA in a lot of ways, even as we become global, expands here to New York. And everyone's very open-minded so far, who we've talked to, so open-minded about how we integrate. And it's not just going to be a sporting event. It's going to be the biggest cultural event, I think, of my lifetime.
Yeah.
So very excited for that.